All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone had a fantastic week this week. Now, my question for you today is, how do we truly ensure ourselves against failure, right? How do you guarantee your success, right? No matter what it is that you want, how do you guarantee that you are going to win? And it comes down to this one word that we're going to talk about today. And that one word is persistence, right? There's one quality that I have seen in every individual that has won, and that is they kept going even when you get knocked down. So that's the conversation today. I'm going to be talking a lot about persistence, right? How to develop the habit, and a lot of stories about some individuals that I really studied that show this quality. So I'm going to start it off with a story, and it's actually a story of Ray Kroc, right? The founder of McDonald's. And I think he really showed the word persistence incredibly well. And if you watch the movie The Founder, right, you'll see, right, he was 54 years old before he even came up with the idea of McDonald's. And he didn't even come up with it. It was before he met the two McDonald brothers, right? And so when he met them, right, let me backtrack for a minute, right? When Ray Kroc was in his 50s, going to businesses selling ice cream, milkshake machines, getting told no, going to the next one, getting told no, going to the next one, right? Finally, he got an order to drive all the way across the country out to California or somewhere out west. And it was like this one big order for a ton of his ice cream machines. And it was by the two McDonald brothers. And then that's where he got introduced to their business, where he drove all the way out there, saw the sign, saw the vision for what McDonald's could be, and fast forward, the rest was history, right? He ended up taking over McDonald's and making it all over the world. And now today, McDonald's is the number one real estate owner in the world. And Ray Kroc, like in the movie, right, Michael Keaton, when he was the actor for Ray Kroc, he said that all of his success really came down to this one word. And that word was persistence, right? He never stopped going. And I think this is an incredible lesson for anyone watching, because let's face it, right? If you are like me, right, and you are relatively young, you got to realize you got all the time in the world on your side. Now, if you can develop this habit of being persistent now, right, you're guaranteed to win. Even if you experience temporary defeat, right, you are guaranteed to win. And that's what's really cool about it. So now I want to talk about, right, how do you truly develop the habit of persistence? And this comes from the book Think and Grow Rich, right? There's 4 simple steps that you can develop the habit of persistence. So let me give it to you right now. What's happening, Luca? So step number 1 to becoming persistent is it all starts with a definite major purpose, right? What do you truly want? And then the next part is becoming obsessed with it, right? A definite purpose plus a burning desire to achieve that purpose, right? You got to figure out exactly what you want, and then you got to become so obsessed with it, right? How can you, just get so clear cut on your goal that you block out everything else, right? So that's number 1, definite major purpose plus a burning desire. Step number 2, you're going to need a definite plan, right? There's no possible way that you're going to do this without a plan, and you're going to need to back that plan up with persistent, continuous action, right? Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, he said that, wishing for riches will not bring you riches, right? Getting rich comes by definite demands, backed by definite plans, backed by persistent action that recognizes nothing, such as the word failure. So you're going to need a plan and back that plan up with continuous action. Number 3 is you're going to have to put a lock on your mind. Or you got to protect your mind from all negative influences at all costs, right? No matter what anyone says about you, no matter what your family members say about you, oh, you're crazy. How do you think you're going to become, this level of wealthy, right? You got to put a lock on your mind. No, get out of my life, right? Even your own friends might start poking fun at you and joking about you, talking about this stuff, right? You got to put a lock on your mind, right? You can't let any negative influences stop you. And that's going to possibly be the hardest part about developing the habit of persistence. So number 4, what's going to help with that is having a mastermind group, right? Step number 4 is to develop a friendly alliance with one or more people who will encourage you to be persistent, right? For me, right, I was, somewhat disciplined and so on and so forth, but it wasn't until that I partnered up with my mentor, who I really thought was possibly one of the most persistent individuals on that I've found on earth today, right? He has done over 1,560 live episodes on Instagram himself, right? And that's what encourages me to start, speaking live, right? So partner up with a mastermind, right? You got to be around people that are persistent themselves. And just by the law of association, right, you'll start developing this habit just by being around them. All right. So to reiterate those 4 steps, right? A definite purpose plus a burning desire to achieve that purpose, a definite plan with continuous action. Number 3, put a lock on your mind. Don't let any negative influences in, right? That is possibly the most important part. And number 4 is to surround yourself with individuals that are persistent themselves, right? That is going to encourage you to develop this habit, right? There's this one law, it's the law of 33%, right? You hang out with people that are at your same level and people a little bit ahead of you, right? Those people that are ahead of you, right? That's going to get you uncomfortable. That's going to get you to grow. So those are the 4 steps to establishing the habit of persistence. And I want to say this, right? This entire book, Think and Grow Rich, right? The entire book can be boiled down to these 4 steps, right? Every principle that it says in Think and Grow Rich is basically these 4 steps, right? Persistence is the glue. There is no way that you are going to be able to achieve a high level without this one quality, right? There's every person that you can look up to, right? They are not even better, right? They are not more talented or not more skilled than you or the other people, right? Some people do have talent, but what I'm saying is there's people more talented than them, but the people that truly made it to the top level, and what's happening, Matt, with the people that truly made it to the top level are the people that were persistent, right? So that's the key right there. All right. That's the key right there is persistence. And let me tell you one thing that is going to get in your way, right? I'm telling you, right? You got to be ready for the enemy. And there's going to be one enemy that you need to watch out for, right? It's fear and doubt is the enemy, but there's one specific fear that's going to stop you from being persistent. And that is the fear of criticism, right? It is addiction to approval. It is caring about what other people think about you. That is going to get in your way when it comes to the habit of persistence. So we need to talk about that. And I'll just share with me, right? I was possibly the most addicted to approval person you can imagine, right? I got a mechanical engineering degree just so that I can brag about it to family members, right? I never wanted to actually become an engineer. And additionally, right, I stopped posting on my other page for like a year. I would post like once a year because I was so scared of what people would think about me when I would post on Instagram. Okay? Now, that addiction is running through every single individual on this planet right now, right? Everyone that is on social media is addicted to approval. And when you understand, right, no one truly is thinking about you, right? They are not thinking about you. Everyone is thinking about what are you thinking about them, right? Every single person that you talk to is addicted to approval. And the truth is, it's not until you understand that, like learning the idea to not care what other people think about you is going to give you more freedom than any amount of money, than any amount of status, right? It's going to give you peace of mind. And this is going to be a lesson that I'm going to continue to talk about time and time again, because the fear of criticism is the reason why 90% of individuals don't get started. Right? We got to realize, right, we are young, right? If you are my age and you are in like your 20s, maybe 30s, right? We have to realize we have the advantage. We have all the time ahead of us. Now, if we can develop this habit of persistence, right, we're guaranteed to win. Even if my business venture right now, even if it doesn't work, right? If I have the habit of persistence, I'm going to get back up. And I think it really just takes, right? It takes those four qualities that I mentioned to really get it going. Okay. So I'll tell you this, right? I think I was talking about this yesterday, right? Adversity, yes, adversity builds character, but more importantly, adversity reveals character, right? You got to understand, right? You're gonna experience temporary defeat. Like, you know what they say? They say nothing fails like success, right? The reason people are successful is because they stepped outside their comfort zone. They did something that they have never done before. And yes, they have fallen. They have tripped up a few times, right? Nothing fails like success, right? You're gonna get possibly knocked down, but you have this quality of persistence, right? You're always going to be able to get yourself back up. And that is one of the most important qualities that you can have. That is how you guarantee your success. That is how you literally, right? It's like buying your own life insurance policy. But this is a success insurance policy that you don't have to pay money for, but you damn are going to have to pay the price for in one way or another. And that is through developing this habit of persistence. All right. Now, I want to share even a story, right? I have a personal mentor, who I think, is a prime example of persistence. His name is Sean G. Murphy, and he has done 1,560 live episodes, right? They're on his Instagram, and they aren't like 10 minutes long, 20 minutes long. Like, these are like an hour long, right? He is the prime example of persistence. And what's cool about it is, I'm not saying this to brag, but when you are in a mastermind with people who exemplify persistence, you know what they say? Like a rising tide raises all ships, right? Being surrounded with him, right? I'm not good because, I came up with this idea myself and I'm just keep going, right? I'm great because I stood on the shoulder of giants, right? I've been able to surround myself with a mastermind of individuals who are persistent, and simply by being around them, I'm able to develop this habit myself. And that is so important for you to start finding people out there who are persistent, who are not going to let life dictate what is going to happen, right? Think about this, right? The news wants to program you to be in a state of fear. They want to program you to listen to authority, right? They want you to be scared to step out of your own way. And what's the case, right? They don't want you to get rich, right? The elites want you to stay middle class so that, they can really screw you over financially and end up buying your land, right? That's their end goal. But, what I'm saying is, with the news is, don't let yourself around any of those negative influences, right? You gotta protect yourself from the negative influences, and you gotta surround yourself with people that are going to, encourage you to go for your dreams and actually help you get there and really, be a resource for you. Because at the end of the day, right, what I want is what I want, and what you want is possibly something different. But if you can be around people that encourage you to at least be persistent in whatever it is that you're going for, right, you are going to win. And then eventually, when you become the person that's persistent, right, people are going to want to be around you, right? This is huge. This is a key idea to understand, right? Persistence is a state of mind, and it can be cultivated at will. And when you understand, right, when you start getting the ball rolling, right, there's one of the greatest forces in the world, and that force is momentum. And when you start developing persistence towards your definite major purpose, right, all of a sudden, all the naysayers, right, all that stuff, you can't even hear because you're so persistent, right? You develop this habit, and what that habit does is it closes your mind to negative influences naturally. And that is such a huge advantage for you to win in life, right? This is literally guaranteeing your success, is that word persistence. And then there's one final idea that I do want to share, and this idea is, how are you possibly going to be persistent at pursuing something you don't truly love, right? You might be questioning, like, why am I not persistent at my job? Well, the truth is you don't truly love your work, right? That is just the simple truth, right? If you don't love what you do, it's going to be incredibly difficult to be persistent at it. Now, however, when you decide exactly what you want, when you get clear and write down every day what your definite major purpose is, and you decide exactly what you want and you become obsessed with it, being persistent is easy, right? It is not hard work to be persistent when you are doing what you love to do. So I think it's really important to figure out, exactly what you want. And that's going to take a lot of testing. That's going to take a lot of experimenting with different side hustles, right? For me, I think I'm on my fourth business right now, or my fourth venture where I finally found something that I truly enjoyed. Okay. So it's going to take, trying new things, right? They say nothing fails like success. You're gonna fall on your face sometimes. You got to just pick yourself back up and become so crystal cut on what you truly want. What is your end goal, right? They say this in Think and Grow Rich, never change the definite purpose, never change the end goal. Yeah, maybe your plan sucked. Maybe your plan wasn't sound. Okay, that's fine. We can change the plan, but never change the end goal. When you know what you want, you stick with it, right? The vehicles are going to change. For me, Amazon is just a vehicle, right? It's not my end goal. I don't want to just stop and have an Amazon business and then die and be like, man, Mike had a great online e-commerce business. No, that's not my end goal. Amazon's just a vehicle to get me to the next stage, so that then, when I'm at the next level of investing, I can get to my definite major purpose. Okay? So never change your end goal. Figure out exactly what you want, become obsessed with it, and develop the habit of persistence. And you will guarantee yourself that it is already done. All right? So that's what I talked about today. Let me just reiterate, right? We talked about persistence. I talked about the story of McDonald's, and how even Ray Kroc explained that all of his success came down to this one word, and that word was persistence. Okay? And then I explained the 4 habits or traits so that you can develop persistence. And then finally, I just went on a ramble of how important persistence is. So I appreciate you all for tuning in live today. I'm going to see you guys next week, and stay tuned for more. Bye for now.